Hey there guys, how's it going? SHAREfactory here, and today we're in Fallout 4 and we're doing the last video on this Let's Build. It's here at the castle. We've been going through it for the past couple of weeks. It was all pre-recorded stuff that I'd done while building, and we're actually at the last episode now. I wasn't able to go any further because at the time I didn't have any more recording space on the PlayStation. I had no external hard drive or anything that I could put the on a separate source in which I could save the video, so I didn't have the space to record anymore. So sadly this is the last one. I was umming and ahhing, don't I put this one up here, because I was thinking that I was running out of things to say and I didn't really know what to do with myself during the videos, and the last one was particularly difficult for me because I kind of was running out of stuff to say and I started getting self-conscious of that. And I was sat thinking to myself, and I kept going quiet and then thinking to myself, what do I say next? But you know, I've recorded it, it's already here, so why not try and put this one out as well? It's just nonsense in my own mind, thinking to myself, am I just being a little bit boring, are people getting bored? But people are still watching it, so I can't not. I've got to keep practicing at the end of the day. I've got a Let's Build coming up after this one, that's over in Fallout 76, obviously. Fallout 76 build is a lot quicker than the ones that you get here, so I think we have like a 45-minute build video, and then we have probably about that again, but that's in decorating, putting up pictures and putting boxes and different things like that. And then after that it's got the tour, but I think I might put the tour on the end of the second video, obviously with the settlement actual build limit being so small within Fallout 76 and your options not being too great. It'll be well better when we get the private servers in which we're allowed to mod, and we can start, maybe modders will be able to import it. I wouldn't have a clue how to do it. I have no idea how to do anything like that, but maybe people smarter than me will be able to import some of the stuff that you can get in the build menus over here using mods. I'm sure with it being the same engine that must be something that's be possible, which would be great if we could build like this sort of settlement within 76 and stuff. That'd be great. I'd definitely be down for that. Maybe even get the workshops that you get, if we could make them permanent, the server in which you own, if you buy a private server, if you could get that to be permanent so that you could unlock all the workshops and turn them into actual settlements. I know Wastelanders is adding NPCs, so there's no reason why we couldn't have some kind of settlement within them bigger work limited areas, where you get all the extractors and everything. You could make some mint settlements or build up all over them, especially say for instance the junkyard. That'd be quite cool, building stuff like something like this, a little shanty town on top of there where they have the extractors going all the time, and there's some good places you could make some really good things over there. Obviously at the moment the building's not too great, but I am going to start trying to bring out some more 76 videos, some more Let's Builds and different things over there. Obviously they are so quick. I can get a settlement done in a night, and a camp done in a night time. So in this episode we're going to be here at the castle. We're going to be doing some decorating, not in the way of junk decorating, like fans and all that sort of stuff, but I'll be putting down, say, crates, boxes, making little sitting areas, little patios, decorating them up to make them look like someone's could be sitting there. Obviously after this is when I go through doing the junk decorating. I'm going to divide some of these rooms up like this and make little living areas and try and work out what different places are going to be, and say for instance in the store we'll put a desk in there, and I know that I'm going to then go back on the next run round, because how I tend to I build in two ways, and it depends how I feel at the time to how I actually approach building. Now say for instance on this settlement I've gone crazy just doing the actual build. I have no idea. I had an idea, basically on this one I had an idea of what I wanted it to turn out of at the end. How close I am to that at the end is questionable. But my idea originally was, like I've said in the last episodes, that I wanted to have it coming down to the centre, look like a shanty town built up and then up on top of the walls. I am quite happy with the end result of it. I'm actually really happy with the end result of it, but how close to what I was looking for originally is debatable. Obviously, I just start throwing things down. I don't really step back and look at it too much. Now, when I have an idea of what I want to do like that, I tend to go and just start building. I don't decorate, I don't put any beds in, I don't worry about anything else. I just build. And I try not to step back and look at it. I try to follow my idea and just keep going and seeing where stuff will fit. And rather than stepping back and looking at it, because if I step back and look at it, it's like when you step back and you look at a picture when you're a child, when you're younger. You step back and you look at a picture and you go, oh no, that's rubbish, and you scrumple it up and you throw it in the bin. And then you step back again and you go, oh no, that's rubbish, and scrumple it up and throw it in the bin. But in the end of the day, I feel like you need to trust the process a little bit. You need to believe it's going to turn out in the end, because you could draw a picture and it could look horrendous, but then once you've shaded it and you've coloured it and you've made it or you've added some light illusion to it or whatever, once you've finished that picture, the picture you're really happy with, but when you've got it as a little line sketched out drawing, something that you're going to start off with, and you're not going to see any of that picture in the end, it's completely different. And if you look and take a step back, that early stage, it always looks terrible, or mine always does anyway. When I've done a little, say for instance, you want to do a picture of a face and you draw out your line down, your line across, and then you start off with your eyes because they're the centre, and you move, and I'm drawing my picture. If I step back and I look at it and I go, no, that looks wrong, it's wrong. But once you've added all the stuff later on, once you add that hair and the little creases in the face, and you add the neck, and it all adds to it, and then the bigger picture ends up looking better. Anyway, I'm talking nonsense. The point that I was trying to make is that I like to not really look at the settlement as a whole as I'm going through, because how it starts off and how it looks, a single shack that looks like a square little box always looks like a square little box until there's something around it, and once there's something else knocking off the angle or at a different height, that completely changes the look of that original box, even though that original box is exactly the same. Kind of, in a way, you put down this box, it's square, it's got this crate here that I'm putting down, or a better example would have been outside with the piles of crates, and then I put one on off in a different angle. Well, it's already more visually pleasing, but it's still just two boxes. It's not it's not two. They're not different shapes, they're not more interesting shapes, but by adding now there's the third one on, and the stack looks 100 times more visually interesting than what it would if they were stacked in a row or neatly placed. Now, in real life, to save space, the odds are people would just put things up, stack them nice and close, put things against the walls, you tend to be quite neat in things if you're trying to save space and you haven't got much of it, and you're not really, people stand up, pull that chair back to the edge of the wall, but if it pulled up against the wall, it wouldn't look realistic. It's a bit crazy, really. It's like, for instance, this is probably another terrible example, drawing a cloud. It doesn't matter how good you draw that cloud's never going to look real. And I don't know why, you just look at something. I mean, you look in the sky some days, I can't do it now outside here, it's grey, it's rainy, it's dull. But when you've got a nice day and it's sunny and you've got clouds in the sky and you look at the sky, I always think to myself, if I painted that, even if it was a photorealistic image of me that I'd painted, which I wouldn't be able to do, I'm not saying I could, but if I did, and I did a photorealistic picture of that sky, people would go, oh no, the sky looks wrong. Because you can't duplicate natural things like that. Now, how I found that it works for me is that if I just create and put the box and another box and another box, and I trust the snap and I don't worry about trying to twist walls, and I do it sometimes. I did it in my Hangman's Alley build. If anyone hasn't, go back, check that out. I really like the way, everything's just snapped together, but for some reason I managed to get all these little angles in there and everything. I like how it feels like it's built up tall into this tight little space. It's like a little town protected by the old world's the old world houses that are on the outside, and I haven't gone into them. They're using them as really the walls for the settlement, and everything's built up the sides of them. They've broken into them to try and built to support up their structures in which they live, and they have their town in what was originally just a person's street or alley, shall we say. So yeah, like I say, with them boxes, I like to stack them up everywhere. You've got the railings and that, and I do alternate the railings, but when you put the boxes up in front of them and you add little corners and stuff, it makes it not feel square anymore. It feels more alive, it feels more different. So we'll put a stool and chairs about, and we'll use different things as tables, because they're going to find tables and different things are very close to the main city there, and they can go out and they can scavenge things and they can bring them back. But if they have boxes and they have crates, why go risk their lives to go find a bedside table when they can just put a crate next to the bed? They've got one anyway, put it next to the bed and use that as a table. What difference does it make whether it looks really nice? And I think that's a lot of how settlers would look. If you've got some storage box that you're storing some stuff in, you're not going to be touching that stuff for a while. Well, why not just use that as a little table then, because you're getting two uses out of them things. So a lot of the time I would just stick down stools, and I will stick down some oil drums that maybe have ran out, and they've just putting them around here and there. And here I'm going to put two chairs, and I'll try put two chairs, I think. I don't know whether I don't bother with the second chair. Can't remember, too long ago. Like always, this is a long time after I first recorded this that I'm actually talking over the top of it. Hey up, mate, didn't know you'd be awake so soon. Little guy was asleep. He's got a big smile on his face now. He's got asleep, so I thought I'll come up here, do a little bit of recording, and we've only been recording for 12 minutes and he's wide awake again, so his nap time wasn't too long today. Bye. They've gone. I forget what I said now. So we're going to put a little table here, and I want to have things dotted about for the I like to have things dotted about that I believe that they'll be using that area. Say for instance someone stood on the guard post, and like we all do, put a couple of beer bottles around and things like that. I wish there was a way of putting guns out. I know with the junk decorator mod, you can do the you can put down armour and junk and all that sort of stuff. But there isn't the tab to put down guns, and I always find that I never did junk decorating until I got the junk decorating app or CD decorator. Until I get that, I didn't bother with the junk decorating. I did it all out. Maybe I put some crates around, and you'll have seen in PT2 and more so in PT3 as I slowly progress into decorating. And then I did my playlist, which was on Scrappy builds, and they were my last playthrough that I've just done. And basically, I'd moved over to 76. I started playing that with all the controversy over there, and feeling like they weren't respecting the people that had stuck with them by saying, well, if you pay you can have things like the biggest scrap. But anyway, I'm not getting into that anyway, because I'll just end up going into a big massive rant about it. But since then I kind of stopped playing 76. I got a little bit annoyed. I was getting pissed off every time I was going to load it up, so I never ended up loading up, and I just ended up loading up Fallout 4. I've been through The Last of Us and done the full playthrough of that, and then now we've been playing GTA, and I've actually had a little run around online. I've not been online. I said not being online. I got to like level 8 when I was on the PS3, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. I can't remember. It would have been. It was a long time ago. And I had done a little bit of online then. But online PvP, all that sort of stuff, it's not really my thing. I'm not. Probably because I'm rubbish at it, to be honest with you. I don't really. I like to fight NPCs. I don't really like PvP. I like PvE. It's just not for me. Fallout 76 did appeal. Obviously, there's a lot more friendly community over there, and it's not really a survival setting. I was then starting to look forward to the survival setting. But with all the camp spawners and everything in there at the train stations, I didn't last long in there because I just can't be bothered with it. I liked the idea of a little bit extra threat in that I could have been seen by another player not knowing where they were on the map. I liked the idea that everyone going about the day and then just randomly bumping in, because then it would have been few and far between that you bumped into people, because they would be all over the map, and it is very rare in adventure mode you bump into people unless you look at them and you go hop to them and or go to an event or something like that. And I thought it was going to be like, naively thought that it was going to be like that within the survival mode. That we were going to be able to just go around, get on with what we're doing. Everyone will be getting on with what they're doing. If you bumped into each other, maybe there's a little PvP session. Whoever won, whoever lost. And then you move on, you carry on with your day. But it wasn't that. It was restricted fast travel, so you could only fast travel to where people were waiting for you, and as soon as you landed, you got killed. It was just not for me. So I didn't stick out with that. So yeah, I am planning on going back to 76. I just had a little bit of time off from it because I just was starting to get wound up. Now I did go on and play a couple of weeks ago with Quick Smoke and Critical, Cynical Siege, and I can't remember who else was on. True Flat. Anyway, we I can't really remember. I think VG was on as well. Vault Girl. So we went on to I went on there, had a little run around with them and that, and it did make me want to start playing again. So the next couple of nights I recorded the Let's Build over there. So I will start doing a few more builds within 76. But I am enjoying building in Fallout 4 at the moment. Also, on that note, I finished GTA last night. I got all that. I've got some editing left to do to get the last episodes. I think there's about 11 more episodes to go. I can't remember. Don't hold me to that. I have no idea. A few of them haven't been edited yet, so I don't know whether they're going to break down. Say, for instance, if there's 5 of them, I don't know whether they'll break down into 5 or whether they'll break down into 6 episodes. Some clips are like 10 minutes long, and some clips are like 45 minutes long. So I just don't know how much actual time there is. Anyway, and I've also got the 3 videos or 4 videos, depending on whether I need to make it. I might even need to make another one, which would be a 5th, of all the cutscenes, which I also did for The Last of Us. So I did the whole playthrough right till the end, and then I made 3 videos for that: part 1, part 2, part 3, and they were all just the just the cutscenes, like a movie style. Now, it kind of worked in The Last of Us. Obviously, if you know the story and you just wanted to recap before The Last of Us 2 came out, it's quite a good way because you can just watch the cutscenes. You don't need to watch any of the gameplay if you remember the story. It's quite a good way of doing it. But it's a completely different thing to some of the episodes in this GTA, just the cutscenes, part 1, part 2, because it's just like the cutscenes just get more and more mental as you go through. It's quite a full-on experience, really, going through them cutscenes. I tried watching the first one the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, no, that makes for a good watch, actually. So I'll be, as soon as I finish all of them, then I tend to put them all up, and it depends how many episodes, whether it's 1 day or 1 or 2 days, whether I post them over. I did manage to get all 3 up of The Last of Us when I did it, but I did it. What happens is when I upload, for some reason, I don't know whether it's the internet dropping out or something like that, but the I uploaded all 3, sent them to share with YouTube from PlayStation. The first one uploaded, the second one had an error, then the third one uploaded, and then the second one uploaded. So then people have watched the first load of cutscenes, the third load of cutscenes, and my second load of cutscenes has no views on it. And I feel like what's happened is that first one's uploaded, people have watched it, and the second one was uploaded, which was actually the third one. They've gone to watch that and then I've like, oh no, he's missed out a big section here. They haven't gone back to it. So it is in the playlist. If that was you and you thought I hadn't done it all, it was because they're loading up on the PlayStation. But they are, even though they might not be in the right order, they are named Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. And I will be doing that with GTA, but I'm going to try and release them separately so that they don't get muddled up. I'll wait for one to release and then I'll send the next one out. My girlfriend just came in to check if I'd turned the mic on, because I've done it so many times, so many goddamn times. I've sat here and I've talked for 59 minutes to find out I've not turned my mic on, and I get to the end and then I'm like, done, I'll just record that, I'll just go back, check the sound on it, make sure the sound's not too high. Silence. Hello silence, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. Silence. So, we make little areas here. Moving on from that, we make little areas here. If I want to, any little area, I don't know what to do. Pile up some boxes, you know, they've got a little bit of storage there, a little bit of boxes, a little bit of something ready to get shipped out. Table for packing up the boxes or whatever they're doing as well. And that's how we'll fill some of the areas up. I have a few go-to things within the menu, so I do move through the menu usually. The only thing is the themes one always takes ages to open up. We'll go across. I'm going to go to garden, I think. Yeah. Oh, garage. Okay. Yeah, I've got to move them boxes about. I'm kind of forgetting what I was talking about now. I've just babbled for 22 minutes and I can't really remember what I've talked about. My memory is so bad. Give us 1 second, guys. I'm just going to turn off the mic. I'm going to grab a drink and then I've got it next to us. I just don't want to be slurping my way down this microphone.
You're tuned to Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. All quiet, which is how we like it. Stay safe out there, people.
And I am back. So yeah, like I say, this episode, I've already said that. So we'll go in here. I know this is going to be a little bit of a general store, so I need some boxes up at the back. Fill in this space. People can't really get round there, and I don't want settlers getting stuck round there. So if I fill up the space with boxes, it looks like it's kind of a lazy decorating style for me. I know a lot of people put boxes and stuff. Shelves. I'm trying to stick away from shelves. I have watched Phoenix's video on how to decorate shelves, and she does it by dropping everything and picking everything up, and it's very time consuming, and I like to build quite fast. So really, out of sheer laziness, I like this method more. My method is not to have shelves, because then you've got to worry about things just snapping straight or jumping straight up onto the top shelf. I will stack boxes, and I like in my head canon to think that most of the stuff is stored in these boxes, stored away, kept safe within the boxes and stuff, and they just have a few examples out on the top. So they might have a desk fan and some toys and some different things that they can buy, and when that thing is purchased or bought, or say someone wants more, they just pop a crate open, because the crate that they sat on is what stores that item. So they can pop a crate open, and they can sell whatever they need to sell that way. Because to stack shelves like in a shop like in a shop that you would have these days, I think would encourage theft, especially in settlements like this where I don't put doors. The settlers leave the doors open regardless, so I just don't put doors. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. I don't put doors on anything. If I did in older builds, they just got left open. They get in the way. You have to work out which way they're opening. So half the time they won't open the exact way that you want to open them. So I don't bother with them. I don't bother with doors. Very, very rare. I can't remember the last time I even went in the door tab, to be quite honest with you. I do like how that chain link fence comes through that wall. It's like the wall obviously has that opening at the top, and it's like the chain link's been slid down before they put that. It's been put up around, the wall's kind of been put up around the chain link fence. I think it kind of works out quite well. So I know I want out of his little living area up here. Give him a bed, but not too nice. I mean, at least he's off the floor. But the mattress on these ones, scruffy as. But the guy who owns this one won't care. Oh, I presume it's going to be a guy that has the general store. It probably won't end up being, because I do that all the time. So, oh yeah, this guy's going to do this, and then it's a girl that I end up signing. But I can't remember. Like always. So I've got a little bedside table in there, and he's got his desk downstairs, so he'll need a little seating area to have something to eat, and then he can use a so I'm just trying to put in there, in case his friends come up and they want to sit and have a drink, or he wants to have something to eat or whatever, he has a little table in there as well. Put some chairs out in case his friends come round. And I like these chairs with the little broken backs. I don't know what about them that I like. I think that you would use something. I mean, they're fixing guns and all sorts of shit. They can't reattach the back to a chair. It really wouldn't make any sense to me that they wouldn't just fix the chair. But on the other hand, I like that chair, and I don't know why. I don't know what about it is that, because obviously it makes no sense that they wouldn't just screw the back of the chair back onto its. Nothing's broken, just where the screws obviously come out of it, or it's had a little snap on the back, but that can be easily fixed. But they haven't, and for some reason I like the fact that they haven't. So there we go. I do try to always put something under the bed, add a little bit of visual variety within under the bed. I'll always try and put something at the end of the bed as well, and I alternate, tends to be between these three things. So I'll either put a couple of duffel bags, or 2 suitcases, or a suitcase and a duffel case, or a suitcase and one of these boxes, and I try and alternate them, so in every room you go in they're a little bit different. Sometimes, and I do that because I used to do settlements where the bedrooms weren't built separately or slotted in where I could. The bedroom was just a massive room with probably 30 odd beds in it, in the hope that I was going to get 100 goddamn settlers. And I'd just build this big massive expanse and put all the beds in it. And when I did start decorating, I think a good example might be where 10 Pines Bluff on Scrappy Settlements playlist, or the Croop Manor, Coastal Cottage on that same playlist. I think there I still have the rooms where, I mean, I know on Coastal Cottage there's a couple of floors, but there's a lot of beds in them rooms. It's kind of one house, and it was meant to be a small little outpost settlement, and it turns into this big mad house with 22 settlers all living in one house sort of settlement. It goes a little bit crazy because I just can't build small, and I'm thinking I might challenge myself to do a playthrough where I only do small builds, where I just build player homes or small farming settlements, stick to 10 people for the few farming settlements, and the farming settlements will only be the ones that have people living there. Finch Farm, Country Crossing, Abernathy, Somerville Place. So and they're the ones that I'll do as a thing, but then I'll have to do player homes, and one that'll kill me for doing a player home is Starlight, because I never know what to do dead small. I always want to fill the place, I always want to build it huge. However, I have got an idea for, which actually comes off a build that I've already done, and it didn't work out. It looks, parts of it are really good, but other part it just doesn't. I might do a little tour and show you around it at some point, but I need to rethink it. I like the idea, I like the concept, and the concept is that we've got the train station right next to, well, we've got the train tracks right next to that. We've got a lot of them containers and stuff, and a lot of the attacks on there are from mole rats. We do get raider attacks, you do get gunner attacks, but defence is defence at the end of the day. And I'm thinking, did they get that water in the middle? And I'm thinking about putting a water purifier in there, putting a chain link fence, putting some walkways around that, and then but that being in the centre of a lot of container boxes, which creates kind of the legs for the settlement, and the settlement is built onto the containers. So if more rats come through, they're coming in, they'll be hitting the metal, which they wouldn't be able to break through. So they've got like a metal layer protecting the floor, Also, they're built higher than that, so if they do manage to break through and get into the container, they're stuck in a metal square container. They're not exactly going to be able to climb the walls and then chew through that metal and then chew through the floor to get up on the settlement. So the whole thing's raised up apart from the centre, obviously, where it drops into that water area. But I'd have to arm that up and protect that area as well, because if more rats did come through the floor. Plus, then I have the height advantage, because it's a very flat area, so I'd have the height advantage on anything that was coming across the car park from any other direction. I don't want to make a massive settlement out of it. Obviously, I can't make, and I think that might be the problem that I've had with the one that I've currently built. I've built a settlement for probably 25 people, but I built it all on top of crates, and I didn't have, when I first did that settlement, it was the first one that I did on my brand new playthrough, and it was actually before I did the scrappy builds, because I started this playthrough that I'm actually doing this castle build on, and I went and I unlocked Starlight, but then I decided I don't want to go down that route. I want to go and start building these other builds, which took me over onto the scrappy my scrappy playlist, and I built all of them, and then I went back, and obviously while I'm building I learn more about building, and in building the scrappy settlements I'd actually watched the video of SAR, which told me about being able to use the stairs to drop things in, which changed everything, which made it possible for me to group select and drop things into the ground that I couldn't before. So now I've got these crates all on different heights, and what I've done is I've used the wooden floors stacked to try and get them to get them to the height to be underneath the next floor, and it looks a bit of a mess, and I think it's because I've tried too hard to build a huge settlement on top of crates at the expense of what I was actually trying to build. So I might go back and have a look at that, and we'll have a little look around at some point. I'll have to record it, I'll have to talk over it, so it won't be anytime soon, and I'll show you what I mean. And then maybe I might even do the other settlement over the next couple of nights. Could do a let's build, so I could show you around that one and then do a let's build on the new one, using that idea to create. So now what I was saying ages ago, because obviously what I had the problem with last week was me talking and running out of things to say, And this week, complete opposite. I'm having the problem remembering what I was talking about because I'm too busy moving on to something else, which is usually how I talk to people in real life. I'll talk to you about one thing and I'll have 3 conversations with you at the same time. And if you can keep up, you're doing well. You're doing well, because I just swap and change from conversation to conversation. I get more than that about it all the time. But hey ho, that's me. That's how it goes, I suppose. I can't help myself but rhyme as well when I fucking talk nonsense. So yeah, way back when we were down there, I was telling you that I build in 2 ways, and that's how this whole conversation. And I've completely gone off on a tangent, gone off talking nonsense. So I have 2 ways of building. Building 1, we'll do it in bullet points, try and make it a little bit faster. Building way 1 is I will build all of the structures, and I will keep building because I have an idea in my head of what I want to create. So I will just start building on top, and going. And then a little panel around the settlement here. So I am going to just go off the things in a little tangent. Don't tell me I'm going to leave a big break in here where there we go. So this is what we've created. I think we've been going about 4.5 hours now. We're up onto the walls. We've got little structures all over. Some things aren't loaded in on the far side. But yeah, we've got all this round here. All this settlement down in the middle. Then up on the top, this is going to be farming land. So we've got little seating areas for them. We've got a little house for them where they can live and they can have some stuff in there. We've got a communications hut underneath us here. And now there is where I left the game, and I'd come into the game the next night here. So that's why I started recording once I came down here, because now what I'm going to do is the wall. And how I do the wall, before I go back into my building ways I build, I'm going to talk about this wall just quickly here. How I do it is I go through my build menu with my walls and I throw a load of walls down. Then I go and I build my stairs, so I've got my steps for dropping them in. And then I go to the mat menu, the carpet, floor coverings, cats, whatever. We go to the rubber mat and I'll build it. Now I'm always on that. So I can select my wall. I don't have to go looking for another wall. I can select my wall, get it to sit on the mat, normally check that it's on the mat. There we go, put it on the mat. Check that it's on the mat, yes it is. And then I can grab my stairs, same as everyone else. Obviously a lot of people will use the pillar. Grab my stairs. Now I'm having trouble with the brick. Do you know the rubbly stuff? I do have a little bit of trouble with that, I think, as we go through. But then all I have to do is drop this in, find out where I want this first one. Once I've got this first one in, I pull it out, pull the mat out, pull the stairs out, and I'm instantly back into the mat menu. Do that little trick so it doesn't drop. Go to where we want it. Taking me longer than I thought it did. I'm trying to find the rug. Right. So I get rid of the rug. Done. But now I'm instantly into the rug menu, so I can drop another rug onto the floor. And I've got all the variants that I have of the wall here, so I don't need to go clicking back through a menu. I can just grab the next one. And if I can grab them alternative, sometimes what I'll do is I'll put 3 of each variant down. And then I'll just randomly grab them and I'll put them backwards, forwards, frontwards, whatever. Sometimes I do go a little bit too fast for myself and I don't bother checking what the last one I put up was. I just grab the next one, grab the next one, grab the next one. Sometimes it does get doubled up there. But that's me rushing. If someone else was doing it, it's a very easy way not to have to go back through the menus. Because to go all the way back to the junk walls, then scroll through the junk wall, select the junk wall you want, put it down, go back to the rug, put the rug down. It just takes too long. I've got everything else I need. All I need to do is open up the rug menu, which I'm already selected over the top, and that's the way I find the easiest to do it. So I'll turn them rings round and I'll put them in the wrong way round and the right way round, whatever, and it changes up because the front and the back tend to be a little bit different, and that's how I do that. So my different building styles. back to that, which we've been trying to go on about for this full episode, but I keep going off on random little talks as we carry on doing this chunk walk. So the first one, I will say again, I know what I want to do. I have an idea in my head, and I just start building. I keep building. I think, right, okay, I should be somewhere near done now. Then I'll step back and I'll have a look, or I'll just build for my full 3 hours, which I get quite a lot done in the 3 hours, and I then will step back just before I turn the PlayStation off and think, right, what am I going to do tomorrow? And that's when you get the little pan round areas of when I've done that. The other way that I start building is that I don't really know what I'm going to do. I did this for Lady Ha's build challenge. I completely didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't even too sure of the area. I just knew that I wanted to build a little shanty town sort of thing. And where was I going to build? Now, one of the places I happened to have didn't have it unlocked, but I knew I hadn't built there, was Nordhagen Beach. And I was umming and ahhing about Nordhagen Beach because I didn't know whether I wanted that. We had the settlers. Do I really want to build there? There's not really anything to barnacle off apart from that really annoying little shack. And we saw what happened last time I built off that really annoying little shack last time I did in the scrappy settlements. It just turned into one big building over the top of it with the little market square at the side, which actually was quite cool, but not really something that I built. I mean, it was very much like Starlight, but I think I built them around about the same time, where they just start to stack up on top of each other. Like there, I tried to barnacle onto that little, onto the confectionery area and the basically the entrance to the Starlight Drive-In rather than the screen. So my other way of building is exactly what I did there. So I went and I know, right, okay, I'm going to need water. So I put my water purifier in. And it was actually that what I started on. That's where I barnacled off. So I did that. I put the little, what's it called? The little walkway. And then I thought, right, well, this could have a little area that they could be working on the water pump. That actually would be wanting to be covered over, so I covered that over. And then I was like, oh, well, okay, the chain link fence would look quite cool around here, a little bit more industrial. That's what this kind of section of the settlement is. So I did that. And then I was like, well, the person who works on the water and the person might want their little shack. So I put the shack in behind it, which give it the visual variety of something different behind it instead of looking straight out into the water. Also made it look a little bit more protected. And I thought, well, this guy is on the water, maybe he likes fishing, so I brought it out and I brought out a walkway, and I thought, right, somewhere on there is going to be a little dot. Let's see where a little area for fishing. We'll see what I'm going to do. So then I thought, right, okay, well, from there I'm going to want to, and then while I'm building it, I'm doing the decorating, because I know, right, this is going to be the bedroom for this guy, and it's forcing me to do that because I know I'm only building a settlement for 10 people, so I have to constantly keep in mind I can't just endlessly build. And I might do in my next let's build, I might do that style of building. I'll go somewhere that I don't really have an idea of what I'm going to do. Well, I might mix the two in the next one, because I know what I want to do is the Starlight Drive-In build. I want to do that, and I want to build it on the crates, and I want to do that. So I'll start off and I'll put my water in and I'll build that little area around it and I'll decorate that. Then from there I will expand, and I know I want to build a settlement. I only want to do it for probably 10-12 people. I'm not restricted because I'm not doing it for the challenge video, but that's what I want to do. I want to build a little small settlement because I want to build it on the crates. I don't want to build myself something too big. So because of that, I know what I'm going to do, I know where I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to execute it, because the last time I executed I didn't do it well. I had the idea, but I didn't do it well, and I want to have a second shot at that. So for that, I might do the other build style, which is basically do everything for everything as I go through. So I'll build the shack, decorate it, build the next shack, decorate it, build the next shack, decorate it, build a bar, decorate it, build a shop, decorate it, build this, decorate it, put some defense, decorate it, and I'll do it as we go. That's my other build style. It does take me a little bit longer. Well, I don't think it does take me a little bit longer. When I say it takes me a little bit longer, is that you're missing out here probably about 3 hours of me junk decorating. Now, if I'd junk decorated while I was going along, when we got to this point here, we'd have been 3 hours further into it, because what I'd have been decorating at the time. I don't think it actually takes me longer. I think it's just the fact that I'm obviously doing parts that come later on. You know what I mean, mixing them in. I'm sure you know you get what I'm trying to say there, so I won't keep going on. I'm waiting for you to reply to me and say, yeah, we get what you mean. Yeah, I know what I mean, mate. And I won't keep saying you know what I mean, because it's like the we were in Spain and we were over at the Lucky Man, and he's trying to tell us that these trainers, you know, how much these are in the shop, you know what I mean? And we were in the shop, you know what I mean? And they're normally about £100, you know what I mean? And the end just turned around, yeah, we know what you mean, mate, we know what you mean. My girlfriend just started laughing her head up, just chicken. Probably it just had to be their moment, but every time I said, you know what I mean, I just think of that moment now. So, I haven't had the problem that I had in the last episode, just rambling, just been rambling on. So that's worked out quite well. We're coming quite close to the end of the episode now. We've got a couple of minutes left. We're going to finish up this guard shack. We'll put a little bit of a seating area for them and that, a few tables and that. We've done a lot of the barrels and a lot of the bits and pieces dotted about. But the settlement we're looking at now isn't the finished article. I do add some more things. I thought I did add that building at the top, but it turns out I've already done that. That must not recorded properly, because if I'd already done it, I can't remember it being in the last episode as actually making that, but it's obviously been made at some point, so I have no idea where I've missed that out, because I just don't know. Anyway, sometimes if I press the share button on the PlayStation and then I back off it, it doesn't record. I have to record there, and then it won't then the next time I do it record. It'll only record from that point and restarts it. Sometimes I miss stuff out. I've done it a couple of times in the GTA playthrough, which is a pain in the arse. I'll record like 3-4 hours worth of footage and halfway through there's 20 minutes missing. I'm like, well, how in GTA do you go back and you find the exact car and drive down the exact road at the exact same time at the same time, so that you can sink in the fact that you've drove down this road at this time just to fill that area in? So it's a bit of a pain that keeps happening to me on there. Luckily I'm finished with it now. So guys, we've got less than a minute left. I'll do my little sign off, which seems to be the best way of flowing through. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please hit the like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. It help me grow the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, though, guys, I'd like to thank you for watching. The next one's going to be the next one I'll release in the Let's Build video is going to be the tour. So and there's a few things that you haven't seen during the build that'll be added in there. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you to the next one, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.